What if the biggest troublemaker at school suddenly decided he could become the most famous creator on the internet, and the only thing standing between him and the spotlight was his own terrible habit of taking shortcuts? Mikey Miller had once been the kid who caused chaos everywhere he went. But now, standing under flashing lights at a Creator Awards event, he proudly called himself a changed man. He had a camera, a growing channel, and one huge dream: win Creator of the Year and finally impress Nova Hart, the superstar creator he secretly adored. Then his name was announced as a nominee. Mikey could barely believe it. There was only one problem. A rising creator named Ryland Thunder was also nominated, and Ryland immediately made it clear that he wanted Mikey's award and Nova's attention. Mikey's confidence turned into panic when he realized his latest video was barely getting views. Instead of working harder, he decided to find a faster way to win. He became convinced that if he could somehow manipulate the platform's recommendation system, his channel would explode overnight. And once Mikey decided on a shortcut, nothing, not even his friends, could stop him. His next choice would define everything. The consequences were closer than he realized. Mikey's little brother warned him that there were no secret cheat codes for success, but Mikey wasn't listening. In his mind, the algorithm was the enemy, and if he could reach it, he could fix everything. He assembled a ridiculous crew of friends, each with a different talent. One knew computers, another loved pranks, and another had equipment that could help them sneak into places they absolutely should not be. Mikey told them they were making the greatest prank video ever, but the truth was much more dangerous. He wanted to break into the headquarters of the platform that controlled his future. His friends were nervous, but Mikey kept promising that everything was under control. He even created a backup plan for Nova's holiday party. Since he could not be in two places at once, he arranged for someone who looked like him to attend the party, while the real Mikey carried out the break-in. His obsession had become bigger than the award. For Mikey, the real test had only just begun. He still had a lot to learn. That night, Mikey and his crew put their ridiculous plan into action. They reached the building from the roof, used special equipment to move around security, and relied on a computer expert to interfere with the cameras long enough for them to pass. Every few seconds, something nearly went wrong. A guard appeared around a corner. A disguise almost failed. One friend nearly ruined the entire operation by joking at the worst possible moment. Yet somehow they kept moving. Finally, they reached the room Mikey had been searching for. He stared at the equipment inside and realized this was the moment he had imagined. If he could change the system, his videos would supposedly receive endless attention. He began searching for a way to access it, only to discover that the system required authorization. Mikey froze. His brilliant plan had never included this part. Then a strange voice responded to him from the system. Mikey thought he had somehow found a hidden assistant, and immediately started asking ridiculous questions. That lesson would stay with him. Nothing would ever be the same again. But Mikey had forgotten one important thing: actions have consequences. The moment the system accepted his request, alarms and security problems began piling up. His friends rushed him toward the exit while guards started checking the building. At the same time, Nova was waiting at her holiday party, confused about why Mikey had barely spoken to her. The person pretending to be Mikey had managed to take a group photo, but Nova could tell something felt wrong. Mikey eventually arrived and tried to explain that he had been sick, hoping his excuses would keep his secrets safe. He promised that everything he had done was for her. Nova wanted to believe him, but she was beginning to see the pattern. Mikey always had an explanation, another excuse, and another shortcut. Meanwhile, Ryland was openly planning to use Nova for attention and brag that he only wanted the clout he could gain from being associated with her. Mikey did not know what was happening behind the scenes. For Mikey, the real test had only just begun. His next choice would define everything. Now, he had to face the truth. Then came the awards ceremony. Mikey stood among the nominees while Ryland watched him with a smug smile. Both men believed they were about to become the biggest creator in the room. When the winner was announced, Mikey's name echoed through the hall. He had won Creator of the Year. The crowd applauded, and for a few seconds Mikey felt unstoppable. His shortcut had worked, or so he thought. Before he could celebrate properly, an official returned to the stage with unexpected news. The award was being revoked. Mikey's smile disappeared. The platform had discovered that someone had broken into its headquarters and attempted to alter the recommendation system. Security footage connected the intruder to Mikey's crew. Then they revealed evidence that he had left behind. Mikey tried to deny everything, insisting that the footage could have been anyone. But the evidence was too strong. His perfect victory began collapsing in front of everyone. For Mikey, the real test had only just begun. For Mikey, the real test had only just begun. He still had a lot to learn. He still had a lot to learn. Mikey's humiliation was not the only surprise of the night. Ryland, who had spent the entire evening mocking Mikey, suddenly found himself under investigation too. The platform had discovered that Ryland had been buying fake views, followers, and comments to make his channel appear more successful than it really was. He had built his reputation on another kind of shortcut. The award committee had no choice but to disqualify him as well. Mikey stared at Ryland in disbelief. For the first time, the two rivals were standing on equal ground, not as champions, but as creators exposed for cheating. Nova confronted Mikey about the lies he had told her. She had believed he might actually become someone she could trust, but his obsession with fame had destroyed that chance. Mikey tried to apologize, but the damage was already done. His friends were angry too. They had risked everything because Mikey promised the plan would be harmless. Now they were dealing with the consequences of his decisions. His next choice would define everything. He still had a lot to learn. He still had a lot to learn. The next morning, Mikey's channel looked completely different. The attention he had chased was suddenly everywhere, but it was not the kind of attention he wanted. People were discussing the break-in, the award scandal, and his lies. Instead of becoming famous for his talent, he had become famous for causing another disaster. His friends told him there was only one way forward: stop chasing instant success and start earning it. Mikey hated hearing that because it sounded exactly like the advice he had ignored from the beginning. Still, for once he listened. He began looking at his old videos and realized that the moments people enjoyed most were not the flashy stunts or fake popularity. They were the moments when he was genuinely funny, creative, and himself. Nova did not forgive him immediately, and Ryland certainly did not become his friend. But Mikey finally stopped trying to control everyone else's opinion. He accepted that rebuilding trust would take time. For Mikey, the real test had only just begun. Now, he had to face the truth. The consequences were closer than he realized. Weeks later, Mikey returned to the same place where his dream had almost collapsed. This time, there was no fake award, no stolen access, and no plan to manipulate the system. He walked onto the stage with a smaller audience and a completely different attitude. He admitted that he had messed up. He admitted that he had lied, chased fame, and dragged his friends into trouble because he wanted success without earning it. The crowd was quiet, waiting to see whether this was another performance. Mikey looked toward Nova and did not ask her to forgive him. He simply told her she deserved honesty. Then he looked at his friends and thanked them for giving him one final chance to change. He still wanted to become a great creator, but now he understood what that actually required. Hard work, patience, original ideas, and the courage to fail without cheating. Mikey did not become the world's biggest creator that day, but he finally became someone capable of building a future without pretending. And that was the twist nobody expected. The boy who once believed success was something he could steal finally learned that the most valuable victory was the one he could honestly say he earned. His real journey had begun, and this time, he would earn it.